Yeah, and speaking of that, I wanted to run this by you. You might have seen it,
because
but
they got
I wanted to get your reaction of Ivan on Tech said something very similar to what you said, only he said it a lot later, but he still said it and he still talked about Richard Hart. So it's a 50-second clip. Let's
a bit of downward today. I think a lot has to do with the current situation with DeFi, guys. I think this is creating a bit of waves where investors are starting to question DeFi a bit because what the hell? It's supposed to be decentralized. Guys, update the contract because they got a court order. What if Polygon gets a court order? They can take billions of dollars and give it to the court. Literally, if this is problem. This is a big problem, and we gotta go back to the principles of decentralization. No admin key. I mean, there is one project that has been doing it all along. That's why I'm waiting for Pulsechain. With Pulsechain and Richard Hart, he's been speaking about this for quite some time, and now the industry is coming to that point where we're realizing, what the hell, you cannot have admin key. If you have admin key, this is going to happen more and more and more. A bit of downward today.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so Ivan is not a adversarial kind of guy, okay? Now, mind you, he's a freaking giant, so don't piss Ivan off. He's a freaking giant. He makes Richard look tiny.
How tall is he?
He's a big dude. But you just watch the Malta interview with Ivan on Tech. You'll see him standing next to Richard, and Richard's like 6'2". So anyway, but Ivan's not. He's not controversial, right? So he likes to try to really not to avoid conflict. Mm-hmm. He's very non-confrontational, and but he's kind of been on the team all along. He didn't really understand why people were behaving the way that they were. Way back when Yams was out, he said, the DeFi space is getting hexified, mm-hmm. And what he said, the hexification of DeFi is happening. There's some older videos where he said that, because what he's saying, look, hex makes hex. It's a code. It makes hex. I don't understand where the big deal is, like these Yam things here, where Yams makes Yams. I don't understand what the big deal is. Well, of course, Yams failed because it was rug pulled, because it was made by somebody that didn't build it for glory. They built it for monetary extraction, right? So most of these things that are built for extraction. They're not built for glory. They're not built to make a monument so that you can point at forever and have indefinite bragging rights, because the only person that can actually crush it is you, and you'll never do that, right? So, but yeah, Ivan's been very non-controversial and non-confrontational. Now, mind you, he's an influencer. He's got his own services and things to market and sell and stuff. And that's not my thing. But he's a smart dude. He's a developer. He knows what's going on. He just doesn't know necessarily how to approach it. And now he's getting all this positive engagement because it's coming to a point where people are realizing it's no longer popular to shit on Hex. You're starting, if you keep going that direction, you just look more and more discreditable,
Yeah.
The more and more people hold on to that narrative, when the chart defies all of your reasoning and all of your logic, the more you have to accept that, hey, obviously I'm wrong about this thing. I mean, you can't be the Black Knight in Monty Python, lose your arms and your legs and say it's merely a flesh wound. No, you're losing this fight. Hex is continuing to do what Hex does, despite your opinion, despite your irrational hate, despite your disappointment that it didn't do what you thought it would. Hex is going to do what Hex is going to do, and unfortunately, there's not anybody to stop it from doing so. And they can dream of their SEC letters and their intervening and hoping to God that something happens that someday makes them right. But unfortunately, there's not anything anybody can do. It's just going to keep going. It's a code. There is no company to sue. There is no way to stop it. It's just simply a code that you run yourself. What are they going to do? Put a ban on all video games? Are they going to ban all the apps on your phone that have any sort of monetary anything? Hex makes tokens. That's all it does. Hex makes tokens, and those tokens happen to have a fair market value, and they can be traded openly on the open market, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop that. That's it. That's all there's to it. Nobody's giving you anything. You're not taking anything from anybody. Everybody's running the game at their own home, with their own system, doing their own thing. And then if people don't follow the rules, they get penalized. And then the code distributes those penalties. And you don't have to be penalized. That is totally choice. That is a matter of whether or not you're playing by the immutable code, the rules that have been set in stone, that cannot be changed, that don't take excuses. And there's not a person that's deeming who gets what. It's just the code, and it just runs.